Procrastinators podcast, assuming such a thing exists as of right now. That's
Oh yeah, the channel's been destroyed.
the channel's been destroyed. It's gone
yet again.
Yeah, yet again for and nobody knows why. No reason given.
No reason given. I mean, that's par for the course. If you're given a reason, it's probably like a bad thing.
Yeah,
like they're actually paying attention, like they are trying to kill you for real. But because they're doing their general thing of like, you're just gone.
Yeah.
So like submit like a thing, like fine. I guess we'll be back in some amount of weeks. Until then, I guess this will be on mine or Ben's channel, I guess.
Or maybe not. Maybe we won't be back in a matter of weeks. We just don't know. God, I'm like nervous about uploading it. I'm like nervous that if we upload this, they'll like take punitive action against wherever it's uploaded.
Why would they do that?
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, that's what they did like when Mumkey got deleted, right? They just like deleted all the new channels he started to make.
Right.
Yeah.
They also stopped doing that. I think that was because Mumkey was being investigated for a specific reason. Like, oh, he's making school shooters real again. Like, oh, he's the cause of it all. It's like that was like a strange thread they were following. I don't think anything like that has got anything to do with us. I think it's just one of the generic something or others happened. And YouTube did not actually check to see if it was valid or not, and they just said, yeah, gone.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, though, because it's like, it wasn't a strike, it was just, like, termination immediately.
There was no strike, just the channel is gone at about 4:30 in the morning, and then when you look, it says it's a terms of service violation, and there's a little, like, form email saying, should I read what the form email says?
If it's got no info that's important.
No. Let's see. It said something about like illegal activity, like encouraging illegal activity, or where was the other thing? There's the other thing here. YouTube account notification. We'd like to inform you we've received a complaint regarding your YouTube account, The Procrastinators. Upon review, we've determined that the activity in your account violates our terms of service, linked to the terms of service. As a result, we've terminated your account. We don't allow content that encourages illegal activities or incites users to violate YouTube's guidelines. The only depictions of such activities that we may allow need to be educational or documentary in nature, and it shouldn't be designed to help or encourage others to imitate them. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so I read that.
Wait. Like... You are prohibited. You are prohibited from accessing, possessing, or creating any other YouTube accounts. I missed this part before, but it says that at the bottom. What the fuck? That's insane. Yikes.
I mean, when they say you, they don't know that this is a shared channel. Like, do they just mean Nate or what? What
I don't know.
action? How could they take action on that? Like, if I posted this into one of my channels.
Well, but
like, I'm not the procrastinators.
Well, but here's okay. I guess what makes me nervous is like they say here, you are not allowed to make new YouTube channels or own other YouTube channels. If we upload some content that is clearly meant for this channel, then that, I don't know. I don't think it's likely that anyone would like notice, but I think that would be considered like we're getting around YouTube guidelines and they might take punitive action. It seems plausible. That seems plausible to me that they would punish us for the same no reason that they've given here.
Okay.
It encourages illegal. I mean, I'm not sure if this is specific to like our complaint. This encourages illegal activities or incites users to violate YouTube guidelines. That sounds like it was chosen specifically or auto-generated specifically based on what our crime was. I don't know that, but it seems specific.
It said we received a report, right? Reports.
You're right. It said, we've received a complaint regarding your YouTube account.
Right.
Upon
so,
review,
like,
we determined blah, 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 and we don't allow...
person
Yeah.
like had issue with something that was said on one of the many videos on this channel, I'm gonna guess it's more recent. It could just be, like you were positing, it could be like a holdover from when Brad had the channel, but that was
Maybe.
like content ID strike, so that would be something different.
Maybe.
But also there were a few people who were like flagging the videos in an attempt to get Brad off our channel,
Yeah.
so that could also still be it. It's like we don't have any information. We're just gonna figure it
We
out.
don't know if like yeah, we don't know when the complaint was filed. Could have been 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Don't know. We don't know
Yeah.
what it was filed, what video it was filed in response to, how many of them there were. I mean, apparently they quote unquote followed up. Like apparently they quote unquote checked and agreed with whatever the complaint was. But I don't actually believe that any human being like looked and checked at all.
No, absolutely not.
No. Um. It's fucked. It's very fucked.
Alright. If you're worried about like re-uploading, we can just put this out as an MP3. We have like an iTunes feed. We have a procrastinator's website. If like it before until we know exactly what the fuck is going on, we can release this in non-YouTube areas.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. True. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. True. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. True. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I know it's true and sure.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But yeah, the channel. I mean,
Nah. Nah.
my first thought was it was the stream we did
Yes.
where we talked a lot about killing cops in, you know, like
yeah.
none of us advocate literal murder, obviously, but it could be taken like that if you don't have any understanding of like context.
To
I
be
guess.
honest, that was my first thought too. Is this about the charity BLM support stream? Which wouldn't that just be fucking amazing if that were what did it? I mean, wouldn't that be just
it would
typical?
It would be a great marketing ploy to get us back and say, "Oh, you think Black Lives don't matter, huh, YouTube?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that what you think?"
We don't, but they won't. They won't. We don't know. We don't know if that's.
We don't know.
I mean,
so like, if it's not that, there's no reason to go down that path of like accusing YouTube of something they're not doing. That's just gonna make us look stupid.
Inciting what was the description? Inciting something or encouraging illegal activities or inciting users to violate YouTube guidelines. I mean, that seems like maybe that would count. Maybe someone thought it was terrorism. Thinks that like it's like an Antifa terrorist stream or something.
I mean, it wouldn't be that surprising.
No.
They see Antifa and they think, "Oh, it's bad."
Yeah, well, I didn't. I mean, the stream didn't
like,
say Antifa. I mean, I might have like joked about it in the stream or something. It wasn't like
Antifa, BLM. I mean, some people think BLM is a terrorism.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess if I had to bet, I would say that yeah, it was probably that stream, which is fucking amazing. And like obviously should not have been flagged with such a thing, but we just don't know. Nate has supposedly appealed the suspension, which they gave you the option here to do. He didn't. I kind of wish I could have seen what he submitted. Oh well. It's
probably just the same sort of stuff he posted last time with the Brad thing. It's like just as much information as you can. Please, could you get back to us as soon as possible? You know, email shit.
I don't know if they're. You know, I don't really trust Nate to like be on top of this. I mean, maybe.
You don't?
Well,
I trust him to be on top of like administrative email shit.
I
mean, this is important for him as well. This channel is obviously a thing.
It is, but like he was pretty. I guess it worked out in the end last time, but he was pretty lackadaisical about like how many like he didn't want to make tweets about like the channel getting hacked for like a week. last time. I don't know.
Yeah, I still don't really understand why. Like something about like keeping his feed for the audience like clean, but it's like I don't know.
Clean of
doesn't-
what?
Or, of I don't know,
Of
irrelevant things.
I don't know either. So that's all I mean. That's all I mean when I say that. We should
I mean, we can do the tweeting ourselves.
we
That
can
worked pretty
do
well
the
last
tweeting.
time.
We can do the tweeting ourselves.
But like, there's, lol, PCP's dead.
PCP's...
Nobody even shows up. This is just us. I was so hype, like not hype as in like a good, just sort of like getting like adrenaline, thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be me. It was gonna be me until 2 minutes before it was, like the cutoff point, and then Ben appeared.
I'm sorry.
And I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna be doing the thing myself. Okay, I'll. And I was revving myself up.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna have a whole spiel about like the PCP is just me
Sucks.
now.
Yeah.
Everyone, like I don't expect, like you were the only one I would have expected to show up. Tom isn't on that much. Munchie is never on. Digi is very rarely on. Jesse is very rarely on.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's just me. It's you. I would say I'm more often than you are. Right? Would you agree with that?
I guess I don't really pay too much close attention to that.
You're like usually on. I'm usually on. I'm almost always on. At least on the normal episodes. Nate is never not here. Like that's wild to me. That's wild to me that he's not here. When's the last time he's missed an episode?
It was a while ago.
What's he fucking doing? What is this?
I think it was a similar thing to this, where I was here and then you were here, and then I think Nate came in late, and so, or maybe Jesse came in. I can't remember.
I feel like there was one time when I was in your position and poised to be the only one on an episode, and I was like, "Ooh, what am I gonna do? What is this episode gonna be about?" Yeah.
One of these days, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a historic moment. And it's gonna be really funny.
That'll be the straw that broke the camel's back. Nobody shows up. We've been dwindling, and I don't know why. I genuinely do not understand why more people don't feel like they ought to be here regularly.
I mean, I see why they don't. It's like Digi only comes on when she has something she wants to talk about.
Sure.
And you know, she doesn't like just casual chat. I mean, she did, but now she does that with May. And that was like when May appeared. Did you just stop talking to us a lot?
You think so? I don't know. It's been so long. I don't know if I even remember what that was like before.
Well, I mean, back in the old days when we were all cool, we would talk in the PCP chat so much that every single day it would be like a fucking wave, like a 10 hours of like discussion that I would wake up to, and I'd scroll through it, give my thoughts at the bottom. Now I do that in other Discords. The PCP chat is sort of completely dead, and it's not a bad thing, really. It's just that there's not a lot of discussion going on between us.
I mean, yeah, there's less. It's not that we never do that. It's gotten more rare though. I mean, it's definitely more rare than it used to be. I don't know if I would call like May showing up the reason why it went from like more talking to less talking. I don't know if there was like a hard
not like entirely, just Digi specifically.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess that's probably true. Man.
And, you know, Munchie wants to focus on school. Jesse just wants to be away from the internet entirely. It's like, people have reasons.
I mean, you don't I don't understand the wanting to be away from the internet thing. You don't have to, like, look at the comments or anything. You can just show up and record an episode and then leave. And, like, that's fine. It takes, like, 2 hours out of your week. I don't know. I just don't know what everyone's thinking.
What went wrong?
It makes sense to me. To me,
right.
It's obvious I should be here, and so I do. I can't empathize with other people's perspectives. That's a symptom of autism, they say.
Yes.
So there you go.
So to save this podcast being about itself, I have a topic.
Okay.
I am fucking terribly fucking exhausted arguing politics in the social media areas that I frequent.
Yeah.
It is a dreadful slog, and I see now why people are so angry. It's not because they think other people are the devil. It's just that the small minutia of like getting someone to, getting to the same page, like getting to level 1 with someone is so fucking taxing because everybody is distrusting and antagonistic towards everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone assumes so much of your position based on what the talking points are. They consolidate your, if you're saying a leftist thing and a moderate is like, I don't believe that leftists are good because of these various instances of leftism being bad. Therefore, I am going to ascribe all of that bad stuff to you, and I'm not going to trust anything you say, and I'm going to assume that you are going to be the worst kind of person.
Yes.
And they just don't read the thing I'm talking about. They don't read the words that come out of my mouth. And it makes it so fucking difficult to just converse. People always talk about, let's just have a discussion, but they don't want to even consider the idea that the person they're talking to is not the worst type. It could be quite a nuanced person. It could be like one of the good ones you could be talking to right now. But if you just go into it expecting to hate them, then you will. And I will hate you back. And I'm so fucking tired of trying to be the mediator, the moderate man that gets people to talk to each other. I can't do it anymore. I quit.
I got really mad at my roommate yesterday, and I yelled at him, and I was a big jerk because I was kind of doing that. I don't know. He said we were having like a discussion about cops, and he said one thing that was a little like he wasn't even being pro cop. That would be wrong to say. He said like one thing about it that I didn't agree with, and I like really lost my cool and made an idiot of myself. Lamau. Very funny. Very, very epic.
No, it's not funny or epic, Ben. You're a bad man.
It's true.
You gotta rein it in. You gotta be like, that's the problem. Is that it's so much less taxing to go crazy and ballistic and just let whatever reaction comes to you immediately be the one that you go with, rather than holding yourself back, thinking about it, and then approaching, with more neutral terminology. Because it just wears down on you if you talk to everyone like that. Everything becomes a long, drawn-out fucking...
Everyone says, Ben, instead of getting mad and being insulting, why don't you just, like, engage with them? Why don't you just, like, be nice and, like, show them they're wrong? Why don't you show them politely demonstrate how incorrect they are? Like, that's not really hard and like, taxing to do. Like, really, like, annoying and difficult, and doesn't work most of the time, even no matter how well you do it. Anytime I don't do that, it's because I'm just not willing. I'm just not willing to do that, to put that work in, for someone I don't think deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard.
I don't know really what direction to take. Either I just stay silent on issues and just let people do whatever so that I don't wear myself out, or I let myself get mad and respond to people like, no, you're so fucking stupid. I'm not even gonna talk to you. Like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to be the guy that does that.
No,
sometimes
I do
it feels
and
like
everyone hates me.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want to. Nobody wants to be a Ben Saint.
No, nobody does. Take my heed my warning, Ebenezer. These chains were forged in life. Yeah. Be nice, kids.
That goes for both sides.
Sure,
like
yeah.
a person on the right who assumes that because I'm not on the right or I'm on the left or whatever. I mean, such broad terms, but like generally speaking, they will assume that I am like a social justice warrior out to get a gotcha moment. And but for me to assume that they assume that before they've shown their hand would also be wrong. I need to like engage with people normally and see if they do things that are like, okay, he's bad faith argumenting right now. And sometimes I try to push through, because a lot of the time you can't tell the difference between, someone who's legitimately only thought about it a little bit and they're just asking legitimate, honest, sincere questions about stuff. Like, they've heard a thing and they're like, I'm not quite sure about this thing. And if you attack them, they're gonna have a bad experience with you. And it's like, it's just, you gotta handle everything. You gotta walk around so many fucking eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of these eggs, they're not eggshells, they're just rotten eggs. Sometimes you step on rotten eggs and eggshells. And it's like you can't win sometimes. It sucks.
It's a little related. Have you followed any of the shit that has gone down around J.K. Rowling this week?
I followed it vaguely. I know that she is what you would describe as a TERF.
Lamau.
And but I can't, off the top of my head, remember what she'd said about things. I've seen you responding to tweets from that guy.
That guy, what a guy. What reminds me, what you were just saying reminds me of is that, alright, so, I mean, I guess we can go over what happens if you think it's interesting to mention, but, Rowling says, turfy stuff. Rowling says, trans people are, in so many words, trans women are just, perverted men with a vagina fetish who want to jerk off in bathrooms. Let's cut to the fucking chase. That's what she's saying. That's the effect of all her words combined. So she says this, and then everyone in... Oh, did I just do it? I really don't think that's a straw man. I understand that maybe it might seem like I'm complaining about, people making assumptions about what I actually mean and straw manning me. I don't think that's what I'm doing. Genuinely, I think that's what she's getting at. So she says all this stuff that amounts to that, basically. And then you show up and you criticize that, or you criticize someone who agrees with it, right? Like this fucking loser, Graham Linham. Graham Linham?
Linham?
Graham, I think it's pronounced Linham, but I don't know. Glinner. You show up, you criticize him or something. You innocently ask him, why did your wife divorce you, Graham? Why tell us why your wife divorced you? Because in your heart you know that it's because he's a weird obsessed Twitter turf troll and is just a weird jerk, and of course you would divorce him if you had a fucking brain.
Yeah, I mean, you say innocently us, but you know that you're poking and prodding him to see how he'll react. It's sort of like a jokester.
An innocent question that anyone would want to know the answer to. Could have happened. Could come up in any casual conversation. Totally reasonable, and everyone is just it's amazing. It's amazing how instantly it's another loser incel guy who hates women. They cannot. It's these dweeby guys, and even more so, it's these Karens. It's these white Karens who will descend and will respond oh, this guy, oh, haha, look how he hates women. It's because you're criticizing JK or someone as that's it. That's all it takes. They don't need to justify it at all. They can't conceive that anyone would be here voicing any dissenting opinion unless you just thought that women were bad and they shouldn't be allowed to talk. If you think J.K. Rowling is wrong about anything, the only possible reason would be that you are a misogynist.
I don't know whether it's literally that. I think it's more that J.K. Rowling is framing whatever she's talking about as,
as a women's thing.
What I'm saying is a feminist women thing. And
right.
If you're against that position, then you hate women.
If you believe, direct quote from J.K. Rowling, quote, if you think that trans women are women, you are saying that natal women, quote unquote, you want them to be molested in bathrooms, jerked off over in locking rooms by creepy men who are just pretending, who just went through all the trouble of getting like HRT and like an ID change and a legal name change and all that shit. They're in there just to jerk it, right? That's the only reason they would be. And
direct quote, huh?
direct, yeah, this is what she said. She said, "I am J.K. Rowling, and you
And this is how I type.
are a rapist by proxy, comma, SJWs, comma, Ben Saint, you." That's what she said. And that's it. And that's it. I hate J.K. Rowling. She is bad. She's always been bad. Everyone knows that she fucking poops her pants on Twitter like every other month by saying some dumb shit that everyone hates about Harry Potter or about fucking genders shit. So, you know, just another in a long and very epic line of that kind of thing. And then this fucking guy Graham Linham is just like, "Oh my god, someone more famous than me is also a fucking piece of shit, just like me. That makes me look better in comparison. I'm on this. Oh my god, people disagree with it. Look how many fucking bigots there are that hate women. I'm gonna fucking come." And he's, you know, he's HIV positive, is what I'm saying. What?
Is that true?
Yeah. That's probably why. That's probably why his wife divorced him.
Laughing at you if you're saying
that's probably why his wife divorced him. Honestly, it's probably because he was HIV positive. Because from the brain damage he gave himself from like jerking off.
That's kind of mean of her to do.
From like jerking off and eating poop. He gave himself brain damage and got AIDS. I know, it's sad. It's sad. You know, it's sad but true. And I won't turn away from reality.
You'd think a writer would be able to write good tweets.
You might think so. Graham is very unfunny. Graham is very unfunny and cringe. Yeah, this is like supposedly a comedian.
What did he write? I think I recognize one of the things he wrote.
The one everyone knows was the IT Crowd, which I've never seen.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
He didn't. He
co-wrote it, didn't he?
He co-created it. He didn't co-write it. At least that's not what... I mean, maybe he did that too. I don't know. Wikipedia says he co-created it. Whatever that means.
So he's an ideas guy?
I don't know. Could be. I guess... I guess...
Did you see that all three of the main cast of Harry Potter, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, they said trans rights, trans lives matter,
Fuck
trans
off, Joe.
is good.
Fuck off, Joe. Get fucked.
So they said, J.K. Rowling died,
dude,
they said. Which is pretty cool.
The uniformity with which those people step in line and claim to sincerely believe that someone saying J.K. Rowling can suck my dick is a threat of oral rape. They all say it. They all love it. They think it's totally reasonable to say something like, "Oh, J.K. Rowling's getting oral rape threats just because she said that sex is real and women are real." That's why people threatened her, quote unquote, threatened her with oral rape by saying J.K. Rowling can suck my dick. Inexcusable. Unfathomable.
I mean, it's the reductionist argument. It's like the consolidation of everything into one point that you can easily tweet. Twitter is hell. It's the thing that is destroying our society. Destroy Twitter.
I would invite anyone. If you're bored and you want to see if I'm right, just respond with something really mean to Graham Linham. Just say like something. Just say the worst thing you can. Like, just try and make him cry. Because if you win an argument if you make somebody cry. Just say anything to him that you think would hurt his feelings, right? And just like wait how long until someone says that you hate women or something like that, right? Any of the things I've just described, right? That you're like an abusive, woman-hating, like toxic man, but also an SJW snowflake. or something. Lamau.
I mean, it's funny in this context.
And
but,
I'm talking about doing this only in Minecraft, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is true. Obviously, guys.
Ben Saint, I think I'm worried about you, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about where you're headed. Where your head's at.
I'm
I think
headed-
you might be a danger to yourselves and the people around
I'm
you.
headed to fucking the end to fight the Ender Dragon in Minecraft. I'm where I got my
Ben,
Ender
no,
pearls.
you don't understand.
And
you haven't been playing Minecraft. You've been in a coma.
No, that's not
You're
true.
actually Nate.
No,
Wake up, Nate.
No,
it's
they
time
added
to wake up.
they added the dragon and the end and the withers and these are new. These are all things. They didn't exist before, but now they've been here for years. And I'm playing Minecraft. Okay. All right. Boy, oh fucking boy. Oh yeah, anyway, I did see that all the kids, what are they, like 40 now? Well, now.
No, they're like our age.
They're like 100 now. God, they're so old. God.
They're like 30, they're like 28.
Can you believe that, like, Luna Lovegood, the actress, is like a grandma now? Feel old yet? I saw Daniel Radcliffe's response, and I have seen pictures of Emma Watson saying trans rights stuff before. I didn't see
Rupert Grint.
I didn't see Rupert Grint's response, but that's really funny that all three do. Dude, everybody fucking hates her. Everybody fucking hates her. Except for like weirdos like Glinner and Karen's. Like a couple of like it's like the same like older white women that you might see like on Twitter like responding to, you know, blue wave Democrats who respond to Trump tweets by saying like by spelling his name lowercase t uppercase r lowercase urmp or whatever or urmp or there's just like a certain subset. There's just a certain subset of human female.
It's just like the older you get, the progression points, the progressiveness points. The progressiveness points, they have a half-life, and the older you get, the less powerful and the less of them you have. You can only put them into so many things. These people, they've gotten to the point where like feminism is good and like maybe gay marriage is good and things like that.
They don't have
trans. Excuse me, that's a little too far.
They don't have any more.
I don't have any profession points left.
They don't have any more points to allocate. You know, their supply is dwindling as we speak. Pretty soon they're gonna have to choose between like gay rights and feminism. Like they're gonna have to lose one or the other. They just don't have the stamina juice to sustain both. You know? It's like flexing a muscle. Believing in rights is like flexing a muscle. You can't do it indefinitely.
Yeah. It's like, to some extent, it's understandable. But thank God Grandma does not have a Twitter account.
Well, they do now.
You know?
That's who these people are.
They're getting to the age where they will be grandmas. Like, you know, the whole thing with like, oh, grandparents, they occasionally say the N-word and something like a little bit of a that's a
little bit of a racism there, grandma.
That's
grandpa,
a little bit of a
Nana.
You know, of the times remark. But they say it at like Christmas and Thanksgiving and like family gatherings. They say it in their own home. You never see them. Unless you do, and even then,
you only see
it's
him
not really a big deal.
You only see him at Christmas and Thanksgiving, and everyone agrees we don't talk about it when Grandma says the N-word. We're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep barreling on through to the other side.
And it's just imagine if all the grandmas and grandpas had Twitter accounts and were engaging in all of these conversations along with everyone else.
They do, and the grandpas all have pictures of their dogs, or themselves wearing sunglasses, or the American flag.
I guess they do. It's just not as many.
And grandmas all have themselves wearing masks, or
I think
something.
the thing to do is to do a Facebook and change Twitter into like the young version of Twitter, which is better, and let the old people take Twitter and ruin it like they did with Facebook. I mean, Facebook is fine, I guess. It's just sort of
we can't just keep losing ground. We can't just keep surrendering more and more territory. We have to take a stand.
No, we gotta innovate. Like the whole idea of innovation is to make sure old people don't know what the fuck is going on, so we can sneakily plot their mass genocide.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're tossing around the G word, are we now? That's the kind of thing that gets your channel banned from YouTube.
Oh no, YouTube! I'm so sorry. I
I'm
won't
so
kill
sorry.
you.
I'm so sorry. Oh, please let us have our channel back, Mr. YouTube man, Mr. Susan Wojcicki, Mr. Man, sir,
Wojcicki.
please. Oh,
I
sorry.
mean,
I don't believe that autogynephilic men masquerading as women should be invading natal women's spaces. Lamau. That's what you sound like,
I mean,
Twitter. Die.
It's like I don't want old people to die. I just know that I don't like anything they have to say.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
It's just an unfortunate, like, you're too old to pay attention to what is happening. And even if you did, you would have really stupid old-fashioned takes because you're set in your ways because you're old. And that's just how it is. That's what human life is.
If you didn't want to die, you shouldn't have let yourself get old enough to start being wrong. I'm sorry. That's just the way these things work. It's the way of the world, the master of the universe, laws of the universe. Hey,
yeah.
If you if you feel like speculating, I'm thinking, because we don't know if it was the Black Lives Matter charity stream that got us flagged. Seems plausible, but we can't know for sure. Do you think, honestly, there was anything we said on there that was like what were the terms again? Encouraging illegal activities or inciting users to violate YouTube's guidelines.
I mean, encouraging illegal activities, as in like encouraging rioting, I guess. Like looting. Saying looting is based if it's against Walmart, like things like that.
I just feel like that's not that spicy a take, and I know that I've seen other YouTubers put out videos who are in support of BLM and who think that the rioting who support that, right? Because they think it's all, riot is the voice of the unheard or whatever, right? Like, is that it? Do you have to be just like no riot is ever legitimate? Is that the implication here? If that's what it is, I mean, I guess it would probably either be that we were not 100% critical of the rioting, or like joking about killing cops. Now I looked at the terms of service. Well, again, this says encouraging illegal activities or inciting users to violate the YouTube's guidelines. So it doesn't imply. I mean, it's sort of. I mean, it does say that we violated the terms of service, but the way that we did that was by encouraging an illegal activity or inciting users to violate guidelines. And like, so that's really weird. That's like very weird phrasing. And I looked at the guidelines, and the guidelines do include like you're not allowed to like say certain things about groups of people. You're not allowed to like compare a group of people to like animals. You're not allowed to call them subhuman, which I guess you could maybe argue that we did. Like if we called cops pigs or whatever or something, or said like cops are bastards, maybe. But like the groups that you're not allowed to say that, it doesn't say a job. It does say that like based on a certain caste, whatever that means. Is being a cop being a member of the cop caste? I don't know. So if you construed it that way, maybe you could say that. But like the wording of those words in there are clearly designed that it's like meant to like, what it's meant to prevent is like racist speech, like, you know, saying nasty shit about like black people, right? Not about fucking cops, right? So if that were what did it, it would obviously have been like taken out of the spirit of what the rule was meant to do.
I guess. I mean, I think the most likely thing, if it was a report on that stream, is that somebody said that we said something that was maybe a joke.
Yeah.
But it, and then the YouTube bot skimmed through it found the words and said, "Oh, they did say that," and obviously doesn't realize that jokes exist, and so the
Maybe.
report plus like just grabbing the transcript led to that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to assume that that's exactly what's happening.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to jump to any conclusions. I just, we both independently were like, is that why? Is that what did it? I, I, I mean, I've seen people saying, what have I seen? I've seen people saying, maybe it was naughty, edgy things we've said that got flagged. Maybe it was, because like maybe it was like the fact that like Mumkey is banned and he's on certain videos on our channel.
I don't buy that at all.
I don't. I think that's
has his own channel back up and
Yeah.
he's doing things.
Yeah.
Like, that can't be it.
I mean, I wouldn't say can't. Like, obviously that shouldn't happen, but like, it seems like a stretch, but it doesn't seem like 100% impossible that YouTube would just be that stupid about it. But it's probably not it. I think that one's a long shot. I mean, we didn't get banned, or it didn't get banned when we did the BLM stream, the charity stream. By the way, we fucking did a fucking charity fundraiser and we get fucking kicked off YouTube. It wasn't that, or it wasn't right when we uploaded it. It was after the latest episode, which I guess makes me think that it was something on the episode that went up, and I don't remember what we talked about in that episode.
I can't remember exactly either. I mean, we have the MP3. We could go through it. A couple hours.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I guess I don't want to.
Even if we like figure out exactly what it was, it doesn't mean the channel is going to come back any quicker.
Yeah, even if we thought we could identify, like, oh, that must be what it was. Oh, clearly it was clearly. I don't think there will be a moment where it's like, oh, I see. This is exactly what we said. That was an unambiguous terms of service violation. There you go. Bam. Problem, mystery solved. No, it's not. What do we gain? Nothing. Right. So, boy, I'm frustrated. I'm fucking frustrated about all this.
All things.
Yeah. But you know what's good? Is that it looks like
What?
Tom has made a lot of progress getting ready to start shipping out backer rewards.
That is good. I like seeing those piles of merch.
That's pretty cool. How's
things on your end? How's the many list of Ben Saint things that has to come out?
I was well, I think I mentioned last week that Nexus did complete his Vaporette, and I have it. Oh, and I was gonna tweet about him. So I was gonna make a tweet and like, hey guys, here's another like artist highlight for a guest artist.
Yeah, you should do that.
I should do that, but now everything's fucking falling apart. Oh, I can't possibly now. It's just not the time.
It's just one tweet.
No. I have to keep my eyes on the prize. No, but I will do that at some point. Kazzy says hers is almost done. Actually, she messaged me just like right before the stream started, or this podcast started, to say like it's almost done, Lamau, which is cool. Jade said she was gonna maybe get it done this week, but I think she's like at camp or I forget. She told me she was going somewhere for a little while, so I guess she's missed the opportunity. It's fine. It's fine. And then
I'm just curious about like why to go somewhere during the pandemic.
I don't remember. I probably shouldn't read out what she said. She said she was going somewhere and was gonna try and have it done before she left, which was the end of last week, but the week has ended and it didn't work. But whatever. So Kazzy says she's almost done. So if she finishes soon, that'll be 4 out of 6. And then Munchie says he is working on it. He says he's working on it every day, which okay. I don't know how close he is.
How many pages are all these guys doing?
How many were?
I don't remember how many I
Yours
did.
was like what, like 6 pages, 5?
Yeah,
something
it wasn't
like
that much.
I mean, Nexus's is longer than that. Munchie's is shorter. Well, no, maybe it's similar. I don't know. I don't actually know how many pages. I think that Jade's was maybe a little longer than yours, and Kazi's was also longer. They're a little longer than like the 2-page ones from last time. So I mean, they're a little more substantial. It's gonna the book is gonna be like half Vaporette content, I think, or pretty
Hmm.
close to it. So I mean, they're doing work.
How about the RCK pins?
Those I have God, really frustrating. So the pins I actually have samples of 6 of them. I think I have the Podrin, I have the map, I have not endless war. I have Slime Corp, I have the Slime Heart, I have the Lord of Ghosts, and am I missing one? I don't know. I have samples of those here right now, and they are producing. I just told them to produce samples of the last like 18 models. So they are making samples of a bunch more right now. They're gonna send them to me. It's gonna be pretty good. I will make like last minute color adjustments when I see how they look in person. So the pins coming along really good. The patches, the other company I found that makes patches. The woman I'm talking to is so fucking frustrating. She's so useless. I hate her. Like she made the sample pin, the patches, and like they looked pretty good. I had a couple of like things, and I was like, "Hey, could you change this? Could you change this?" But they look really good. I was really happy with them. And she's so difficult. Like I make like really simple requests. I'm like, "Hey, what colors did you use?" And like she will take like 2 days to get back to me, and she'll answer with like something unrelated, and I'll be like, I just want to know what color. Please tell me what colors you use, and I'll have to ask multiple times, or like, okay, can I see a picture of what the threads look like so I can compare colors? And like, again, like it's like a 50-50 chance whether she will actually like answer the question I'm asking, or like do the thing that I want her to do to help me make this fucking order. She's so dumb, or like doesn't understand English, or just like lazy and doesn't want to like it's I don't know what the problem is. Like I cannot tell. But she's so awful, and yet I have to fucking deal with her because I've already paid for the patches to be made. They've already designed them. We're doing this. It's just like I literally just have to pick out. The only thing I have to do before they make another round of the things is like I just ask, show me the colors, please. I'm very polite. I'm very polite when I deal with her. Just said, just please show me what the colors look like so I can pick which ones. And she's like, okay. That was like 3 days ago. I hate her. I fucking hate her. Jesus Christ. So that's what's going on with that. I went on Fiverr and I paid somebody to make a vector out of the slime coin design. It looks pretty good. I spent a while like fucking around with it after. I don't know. It's like little parts of it are like a little bit off center, and I feel like it's small enough that it wouldn't matter if I had it made right now. I don't think anyone would notice, but I can notice that like the border is like not entirely uniform in thickness, but it's like really it'd be really hard. I'd have to like move everything around in relation to each other to get it, and it's like why? Why couldn't you have just done it 100%? Why couldn't you have just done it perfectly? Probably because she was some girl from Pakistan and I paid her like $20. But still, I guess you get what you pay for. And now I'm probably gonna have to like, if I'm to be satisfied with the final product, I'm going to have to spend an eternity fucking around with infinite tiny little like nodes and points in fucking Inkscape. Get that friggin' vector exactly how I want it. What else am I fucking doing? What am I talking about?
We were talking about stuff. Your other lecture.
Oh, that was right. The other thing, actually, God, I really wish this thing with the channel didn't happen, because I had just look. It's fine. I'll continue. I'll continue as I was. I had just finally kicked myself in the ass enough to get back to like doing the Slime and Punishment finale. I had finished the story. I had finished laying out the storyboard, right? Like to which was not a necessary step in doing it, which I hadn't completed yet. I had just kind of done little bits and pieces here. I have the storyboard laid out now, and I have started making assets for it again. I haven't started putting shots together again. I need assets. So I'm making assets, and So I'm doing that partially because I am not going to release the Chris Chan 102 until Slime and Punishment finale is out. So
Oh,
yeah, so me getting that done is like a prerequisite to me getting the Slime and Punishment or the thing out. The lecture itself is like mostly edited. There's some stuff I need to add to it, but it's like mostly it's cut together, not 100%. And like there were some things I wanted to do with it a little bit above and beyond. Just like the pretty bare bones editing that I did with the other one. So it's that's gonna happen after the finale, which I would have been working on a lot more in the past day if this fucking news about the channel had not come to light and divided my attention pretty heavily. But it's okay. It's fine. I'll get back to it.
damn. So you got like a whole bunch of irons in that fire.
Dude,
A huge amount.
I keep thinking about how many fucking irons I got and how they all distract me from one another, and I'm just so fucking bad. I'm just so fucking it's so fucking dumb. I've destroyed my life by not having everything done. The fact that there are things that I haven't finished. I won't go through the list. I've gone through the list a bunch of times in various places. I hate it. I hate that there are things that I started that aren't done. It's so fucking like draining. It saps my energy constantly. Um, the I will receive a passive buff. I'll receive a passive buff to my life as soon as the Slime and Punishment finale is done, because it will be one more thing that I can remove from my thought process that drains my mental stamina constantly, knowing that the promise was made that it would be done and I haven't delivered yet. My IQ will just raise by 10 points spontaneously. Promise. If you think I'm stupid, I'm not. That's why. I have. That's the reason. It's not my fault.
It definitely sucks to have a bunch of things hanging over your head. I mean, that's why I've made I guess not a habit, but I've like made
Who?
Me.
Oh.
Me.
Okay.
I have made a habit of like cutting projects off. Like it's difficult to just do one thing. Like you're always gonna have other ideas distracting you while you're working on one thing.
Yeah.
Which is why for the past this year is like, just like figuring out how to make myself do one thing so that it's done. Lord of Ghosts was that, pretty successful, but it's oh, I've just realized I'm about to talk about art problems. Gary Hackett, fuck you. I don't like you. You piece of shit, you little chode.
For anyone wondering, Gary Hackett commented. He commented on like why can't wait. What was it like? Can't wait till Gibbs starts talking about he can't focus on his art or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, why is this about him? Why is this not about me? This is like describes me. This would be more appropriate to be said about me. I don't get it. But it was funny.
Yeah.
Lol.
So I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't talk about that next time, but you forced my hand, Ben. Now I'm talking about
That's fine. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, I was having, because like with the Lord of Ghosts, I had done the sketching and dialogue well before I was drawing it and inking it and finishing the pages and releasing them. So what the work was entirely just sort of like workhorse work. I didn't need to think, I just needed to do it.
Yeah.
And so solving that problem was quite easy, really. It's just a matter of focusing your arm, your energy.
I have
but you don't need to think.
I have something to say about
and
so
yeah.
Did you find it easier to work on like after the sketch was done and you just had to go in and do the mindless work of like inking it, basically shading it?
Yes.
When I did the Vapors or Vapors 1 and 2, I sketched and then I inked, right? And I did it like I sketched it all out first and then I went back and inked it. And I hated that because the inking was like so mindless. It was really boring, and I got like I got very little satisfaction from it. Like every time I finished inking a page, it was like I hadn't really made anything. I had just done like some mindless busy work, just some shit that's like required of me to, to make this thing technically done, even though like in my mind it had already been done before. Um
Hmm. I
but
think that,
I say that, but then with like Vapors 3 and Champion Chapter 1, I didn't do that. I didn't pre-sketch it. I sketched and then inked each page eventually, which like broke up the like more satisfying creative work of like laying out the page and like sketching the page and like and doing all that. But like it was harder. It was more satisfying work to do that, but it's also way harder. So, the end result is that both went very slowly and I suck.
yeah,
Lamau.
lol. It's just sort of.
Lol.
I mean, for me, the sketches were very basic, very bare bones,
Hmm.
and to ink them makes them appear real. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually good at drawing, I guess.
You know,
So it
hmm.
was like more of appealing to look at once it was inked, and I was like, the after that shading, it was just sort of like I don't know, fill tool gray here and here. I don't know, fucking know.
Lol. You know, yeah, my sketches for like those when I've done sketches like that, sketch the page out first. Mine are pretty basic too, but I still feel like that's when I've already when I've done the sketch, unless it's like unless I've left a lot of shit out, like I've already translated the idea has already come out of my brain and onto the page. Like there it is. Like to my eye, like it's there already. And I know that like it's not done, but like I feel like I don't know. That's the like
I I,
yeah, yeah.
I get that feeling when I'm putting dialogue in. Like I've already written it in like a screenplay way, and now I'm deciding where to put the speech bubble in the panel,
Oh,
and I'm like, and then I sketch it like when I'm sketching, like just sort of scribble the words in so that I can see like roughly how much space it would need to write all of those words. Um,
I forget if we've talked about this before. Do you like write out a script before you start sketching?
for Lord of Ghosts, which is really the only one I've done any sort of planning on,
Mm.
yes, I wrote an entire screenplay of the dialogue. When it came down to doing the page layout, I based it off of those, like the things that the conversation requires happen.
Mm.
Yeah, but when it comes to actually typing it up, I would tweak a few things if I felt like the delivery was sort of weird and not cool enough, or
Yeah.
just sort of wording could have been improved, but the focus of each speech bubble stayed the same.
I I have I have never done like a script treatment before. I will have like well, I mean, I guess I wrote out the scripts for the Vaporettes that the guest artists then you and the other guest artists then like I guess followed or whatever for the actual drawing. My comics, I've never done a script treatment before drawing. I will have like I might have the most I might have is like notes. Even then, I don't really do notes because like I know what the story is. Like if it's a short story and I've never really drawn like a protracted comic with like a really like long. Well, for Champion, I did have notes about like what like but like whatever. Um, for the other things, I don't usually have notes or anything about what it is. I'll just know what the story is. I know like what the basic beats are, and I'll have like scenes in my head, and I'll just like I'll just draw it out, and like I'll have an idea like if there's gonna be dialogue at a moment, and then like I won't know what it's gonna be, but I'll draw it. I'll just think of like, okay, I guess they'll have to do this, and I guess he or she will say something. And I'll know like the idea that they want to say, but not exactly what they're saying. I'll draw it out. I'll like include their mouth being open, leave space for a bubble, and then I'll like it'll be done, and I'll go back in and be like, okay, I know the idea she's expressing. How exactly do I word it? Like, how exactly would she say it? Let me figure out the exact words. I guess it's like that. No, that's stupid. No, that's stupid. That. Okay, done. Cringe. Move
Yeah.
on. Don't think about it anymore.
I mean, the way I was thinking when I did this screenplay was like, um, screenplay as in like it includes like direction, like character moves here, grabs thing, throws thing.
Yeah.
We see a shot of this, we pan over it, like as if it was a film. So I can like base the panel layout off of that. Like I know what needs to be shown as well as who needs to be saying what. But when I write a dialogue scene, if it like ends in a punchline, I'm thinking in my head, like I have some sort of a vision of what the panel layout needs to look like in order to deliver this punchline, or if it's a really cool thing, like it zooms up, like a close up of their mouth, and they say "fuck you," like some sort of thing like that, like silhouetted against an explosion, and they say a one-liner. Like in my head, I imagine visually what that speech, that thing they say would be set against, but I don't need to sketch it. When it comes to sketching, I sometimes find that I'm not good enough at drawing to sketch the cool thing, so I have to like come up with something else.
Sure. I've been there. Do you ever, when you're like writing out a script, when you're coming up with the story, do you like see it? Does it appear? How does it appear to you in your mind when you're like conceiving it? When it's the form it takes for me is generally an image or like a sequence of images, and then I'll be like, okay, that'll happen. That image happens. That image happens. That image happens, and then the actual process of making the comic is like just kind of making it up as I go along. Of like thinking like, all right, so to get the characters into the situation where that first image happens, like what would they have to do? Okay, I guess they do this and this and this and this and this and this, and okay, and then it happens, done. Okay, and then to get to the next one, it's like, okay, well I guess they got to do this and this and say that and this and do this and this and this, and then okay, there it is, there it happens again, right?
Yeah, it's like thinking in keyframes or key scenes. Like you know the big moments that you want to explain, and they need to be set up. So or like going from point A to point B, they need to, like, if they're in one location, you can just cut to another location, but sometimes you want to have a few panels to buffer it if it needs, like, you know, you'll get a feel for how it needs to look while you're sketching.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, if I have two cool moments and in between them, I'm not exactly sure how they get to the other cool moment. I just know that they need to exposit something before the next action scene. I sometimes leave the sketch a little too loose, and I find that is that's caught me in a few places where I've ended up having to like come up with something while I'm lining it rather than sketching it, which is difficult.
Like a background?
Not really just a background. I mean, sometimes a background because I'm just like, it's buildings there. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But the like a transitional phase from one area to another. I'm not sure exactly. Sometimes like
yeah.
I feel
like
it's just
when
it's difficult. It's difficult trying to like because you don't imagine in your mind the mundane panels that don't really leave much of an impact. You always think of the coolest moments.
Yeah. I think that sometimes making a story like that is just a matter of finding any excuse just to move the story towards where you want to go. So like, and sometimes it's okay. I know I've done it to just be like, whatever, just have someone say something, just justify it in any way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's bullshit. We just gotta get this wherever we're going as fast as possible. Make it as efficient as possible. And just get it there. Just stop drawing. You don't like draw. Make it so that you have to draw as few panels as possible.
That is, I mean, it didn't end up being a low amount of panels.
No,
it's still a lot. But like Chapter 2 of Lord of Ghosts, where he's like traveling from being in the ocean to getting to the endless mud and all that.
Yeah.
I knew that because RCK is like the Grand Canyon of slime, it means he would need to go through that slime sea and then end up somewhere else on the other side of the Grand Canyon, and from there he needs to travel across the ocean, because in my mind it was just like, It's just like the Earth. It's just real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just is exactly the same as the Earth, but like with weird shit in it. So I knew that he needed to go from somewhere in the Grand Canyon to the east coast of America and then cross the ocean.
Yes.
Which is why I had the cow town
Mm-hmm.
and then the sea train.
Mm-hmm.
But like in those locations, I didn't really have anything for Lord of Ghosts to do. I just saw let's put a cowboy in here. They say something like, "We don't like monsters around here," and they fucking shoot him. It's like, "Oh my god, I'm being shot at," and he runs. Like, and it's just it's an excuse for a little comedy. But I also need to explain in my head. It needs to be explained how he gets from one side of the slime sea to another side of the planet.
I really think that I think it's underrated how much of like successful storytelling or making any kind of narrative content is about like how little can I get away with showing without losing without losing anything as I like progress the action from A to B. I think that's just good. It's just good storytelling to cut out cruft, and it makes it easier too, and it makes you able to like tell more of the story you're trying to tell. The more efficiently you can move the action along.
The best thing to do is to have like the world, because people love building worlds. You build the world as completely as you possibly can. You think of the absolute history of every location if you really feel like going in that in depth. Such that when you come to deciding what to show from that world, you don't need to make shit up. Everything's already there. You just need to show it.
Yeah.
You know, you've built a world, now just film what's happening in it. And the thing you're showing is like, you know, it can be very brief. You don't need to explain what's going on in the world. You can leave it to people's imagination to fill in. But if you know, then it's easier for you to structure everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If if you've I get if you've got a really fleshed out idea of the world, then like that can kind of can answer questions. Like if you're thinking like, what happens between here and there? Well, I know this exists. Maybe that's what happens. Yeah, maybe that's what we see.
Because you can tell sometimes where things are just made up out of nothing. They come out of the author's ass. They're just like, then this happens.
Yeah.
And the reason you can tell is that because there's nothing possible that could have indicated that this was the case. You know, like it's a common thing where like it's not so much that Oda deliberately puts things in one piece knowing that he will use them later, but he knows so much about the world he's created that he can pick and choose lots of things that he's already shown like as mundane objects in the background to become things that are relevant later, and then people look back and they're like, oh my god, it's a rich tapestry.
You know, I think that, you know, there's the architect and the gardener, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's the Stephen
like...
King, George R.R. Martin conversation.
Yeah, I guess so.
There was that's where I heard it, on YouTube.
I haven't. Yeah, maybe. I think I might have heard the two of them compared like that at some point. I feel like Oda does the gardener thing where like he will come up with some like weird device to just like enable whatever he wants to have happen, like the dials or whatever in a cloud zone. My favorite Sonic the Hedgehog level, Skypiea, and then
oh yeah,
if he'll just come up with that because it enables like, you know, all like Usopp to do all these weird combat things, and like you know, is an excuse for like long distance communication in a place without. No, they have Mushi. That's not right. Whatever. It enables all these weird things to happen. He'll just have this idea for like, what if these things had these weird properties? Like that would be cool. And then he'll just kind of go with it. Like, and that'll be, and if he wants, he'll bring them back later. Like, cause dials are like a pretty like versatile concept, and like I guess because of that, he can just bring them back and like make them show up later. Like maybe later Usopp puts them in his fucking slingshot or whatever. They do a thing. I feel like he's doing the gardening thing there, where he is just kind of making shit up as he goes along, but then he'll grown. He's grown so many fruits and veggies in his garden that he can then like has a big stockpile of them too. Like he can take any of those seeds, you see, to continue the metaphor, that he's already cultivated and replant them for next year's harvest. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, it's beneficial for him as well, because it's like One Piece is just anything you could think of. There's an island about it.
Yeah.
There's everything can exist. That's kind of what I want to do. Is just to have like everything that I could think of that's really cool is all in the same universe. There's and they can all interact. Pump will meet everyone at some point.
It's all in C197, dude. It's all in C197. The dimensional merge is coming.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway, what I was talking about with regards to working was that with the sketches of Lord of Ghosts, it was easy to figure out how to get myself
you're cutting
in a
out a little
focusing
bit,
mood,
and I haven't really heard like half of what you've been saying. Could you start over?
My robot.
For me, sorry viewers, I don't know if it was your connection or my headphones, but yeah, I missed a lot of that. Sorry.
Well, the way to solve the problem of working on things without needing to think is just minimize distraction, lower your expected dopamine levels so that you're not constantly craving a certain amount of entertainment every day. And you know, you can barrel through it and it's quite easy. But when I'm doing this Tezuka manga thing, it is a different feeling of work. You can't sit down at a 9 to 5 and come up with ideas. It doesn't really exactly work the same way.
No.
You can get yourself in a good situation, but coming up with creative ideas, like, so that it's difficult and it's a different process, and I need to figure out how to best make a situation where I can like thrive creatively. So that I can have that as my creative way to do things, and then my other way that I've already figured out as the production way.
You've seen that John Cleese lecture, right, about creativity?
I have.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it because I keep forgetting. I know that there's like the open and closed state, the playful mind, and the analytical mind, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
But I forget how to best get into the playful mind thing. Because I've tried like, maybe if I just drink some alcohol, that'll loosen my inhibitions.
No.
Loosen my inhibitions just a little bit, because and then once my inhibitions are loosened, I'm not going to worry so much about the things I do. So I would just write stuff, and even if it's shit, I'll do it anyway, and then I can look at it later and decide what is good and bad. Like that's not a stupid idea.
Very stupid.
But it didn't really work.
Very stupid.
No.
It doesn't work.
I think
not for me anyway.
I think as a concept, like lowering your inhibitions is a good way to get into a playful mindset where you just do things. It doesn't even matter. Just do them.
Yeah.
However you can get to that.
You talked in the Money Spenders podcast about how like you get into that when you're like really tired, and I made it and I commented like, hey, me too. Yeah, when I get really tired, my inhibitions are lowered, and sometimes I'll just like draw a thing or write a thing because I'm too stupid not to do it. Lamau.
It's like you've got to lobotomize yourself. You've got to become the stupidest motherfucker so that everything you do, you do everything, rather. You just do anything that comes to mind. And then after that, you have a whole list, a whole big like spread of things that you've come up with. 90% of them are going to suck, but at least you will be able to like see, okay, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. That has potential. Keep that, and then you just do that over and over again until you have like a pile of like, you know, it's like a panning for gold. Get a whole lot of dirt, and eventually you'll find a tiny little nugget.
Yeah.
But you gotta move a whole lot of dirt before you can find those.
That's exactly right. I like that analogy. So, sorry not to distract, and we don't have to harp on this, but did you see John Cleese's stupid ass shit on Twitter? Speaking of
no.
John Cleese, John Cleese, I mean, he did it in that stupid like centrist way, but he was basically like he was basically anti-tearing down statues. He's been saying like, the Romans practiced slavery, the Greeks practiced slavery, why don't we tear down statues of Greeks and Romans? Like, that's not fucking smooth as shit.
Yeah, that's a
sucks.
take that is uninformed.
That sucks ass, dude. Very disappointing coming from a cool dude. A pretty overall, I think a pretty cool dude like Johnny Boy.
Honestly, yeah, I mean,
Bummer.
it's not a major infraction. It's just
Not
sort
a
of like
it's not a major
he doesn't
infraction,
think.
but it's very cringe, and I expected better of him. You know.
Yeah, he does have old man brain now.
He does, but you know, he's pretty fucking old in that lecture. Isn't like in that lecture that thing he says like I'm very old and I'll soon be dead, and that's like fucking 15 years old, or maybe not that old, but like it's pretty old. Like yeah, geez, funny stuff. Oh no, mortality. Help! Oh god, I'm afraid.
Gotta immortalize yourself in your creations real quick.
I guess in the absence of any better options, I better get on that. Boy.
I have gotten to a point where the am I a robot again for you?
For like a second you were, but you're fine now.
Yeah, I saw the thing go red. I point where full outline of the comic, and I want to go over it, and maybe I don't know, ask people what they think. I might ask you what you think. It's fine. It's just sort of like a lot of what's cool about it is coming through in my head, and I'm aware of that. An outline doesn't really explain enough for a person to really get what's going on. You need to expand on each of the points and explain it in depth. And at some point, you might end up writing a book. So like